Sometimes a developer puts something in a game with complete certainty that no player will ever be able to find it. But that didn't stop gamers from breaking the games and finding them anyway. Today we're diving into the top 10 hidden moments in games that no player was ever intended to see. Banjo Kazooie, nuts and bolts. So by now you may have noticed every time I cover a rare game in one of my videos, it usually has to do with a troll they hid in one of their games solely there to get a laugh on gamers. Well, this time I'm finally getting the last laugh. Somehow Rare managed to miss this rather huge exploit that can be used to break the game from nearly the moment the game actually begins. All you have to do is take an object, any object, throw it on your cart, jump on top of the cart, and then on top of the object, and then you just grab the object. Wow. How did they miss this? So now you can travel the game world from just about every possible direction, allowing you to sequence break huge segments of the game. So the goal of this game is to collect an object called jiggies from jiggy tamper switches, which are scattered all across the game world. So let's go ahead and skip a huge portion of this game. We're going to get the jiggy hidden on top of this building well before you're supposed to. Yes, got it. That jiggy is mine. Okay, now to just get Banjo on this damn pipe. Would you grab the thing? Okay, now for the moment I've been waiting for. Time to finally get back at Rare for all those incessant trolls. What? Looking for ways to break the game behind my back? Oh, come on! Once again, trolled by Rare. Crash Bandicoot 3. Okay, this exploit isn't as much as a facepalm as the last one, but with it you can see a rather interesting result only in a particular instance. If you were to stand in this corner of the Coliseum during Tiny's boss fight, you can entirely avoid the sequence where you have to cleverly dodge the stampeding tigers. I guess this spot's been uncharted. Okay, I'll stop. But things get more interesting in the Crash Insane Trilogy remaster. Unbelievably, 20 years later, the same exact exploit is still fully functional. Now, considering this exploit was, hey, quit throwing cheese at me. Alright. Guess they caught me again doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing. Touché. Unreal Tournament 2004. In Unreal Tournament 2004, players found a hidden prompt inside the code that would only trigger in-game for a seemingly impossible circumstance. If the players somehow managed to snipe themselves in the head with the game's sniper rifle, they would be presented with this in-game message: the player has violated the laws of space-time and sniped himself. Now, Unreal Sniper Rifle doesn't have range damage because it's actually a hit scan weapon. This means it only strikes exactly where the player cursor is hovering, which given this is a first-person shooter, that would mean it's pretty much impossible to move the cursor over your own head. Although I've never seen a player activate this prompt by legitimate means, maybe there is an actual possibility of pulling this off in-game and ripping open the space-time continuum. But what the hell would that even look like? Oh. Okay then. Hitman, Blood Money. It's not often you come across an unfinished placeholder left in a finalized game plain as day for all the playing public to see, though I've certainly covered a number of insane instances of such before. In Hitman Blood Money, another brilliant piece of placeholder developer motivation was left in game on this lobster crate. When you pick it up, it actually says this in the description of the object. Allan, please add details. Nice going, Allan. Developers since have decided to have some fun with this unintentional moment because when you look at it again on the HD re-release, it actually says, "Any details yet, Allan?" But it doesn't end there. It even went as far as to appear in the trailer for Hitman 2016, and even appeared in a real-world example on the Hitman website. Sorry, Allan, but it doesn't seem like you're going to be living this mistake down anytime soon. Fortunately, you're not the only one on this list with the same problem. TimeSpiltters 2. TimeSpiltters was a pretty solid first-person shooter franchise from the ex-developers of GoldenEye 64, which was Rare, so you know who I'm dealing with here. In TimeSpiltters 2, if a player were to screw up an objective in the game, they're met with a rather standardized mission failure screen. However, if the player were to stay on this screen for several minutes, the background music begins to take on a number of very unusual and drastic changes, including some very strange audio that was later discovered to be highly manipulated dialogue from the character Captain Ash from the level Aztec Ruins. But if you can believe, a much stranger mystery occurs nearly 10 minutes after waiting on this screen. Suddenly a woman's voice comes straight out of nowhere.
Is that too loud?
Given the context of what she says, the common speculation is that this is a totally unintentional moment accidentally left in the game, assumedly from an audio engineer or audio editor suggesting that the audio mixing was a little too loud during that spookier portion. Again though, this is another game coming from ex-members of Rare, so it's pretty safe to assume this could be another troll here strictly to drive gamers crazy. But I'll tell you one thing, it certainly made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
Is that too loud? Is that too loud?
Slender The Arrival. Slender Man has become an iconic horror figure of our time, with his big budget Hollywood debut hitting theaters mere weeks ago. Not that that's worth watching. He's just some tall faceless dude going for a stroll through the forest at night. I'm sorry, I saw Blair Witch Project and I just don't see what the— Holy done. I'm getting the hell out of here. Even if it means I'm gonna have to break the game and get through this invisible wall and get well outside the bounds. Okay. I think I'm safe. I don't think he can get me from here. Whew. Wait, what is that? Life is Strange. In Life is Strange Episode 1, there's a rather unusual hidden occurrence if you were to reverse time and angle the camera just right during this in-game event of Zachary throwing this football at Alyssa. What? Oh, okay. It's just David, Chloe's stepdad in the school's campus security, doing a T-pose. Well, that clearly wasn't intended. Bioshock. Earlier this year, an anonymous user on the forums of 4chan made some questionable claims about the kinds of things the developers would do for inspiration when making the game. However, this person claimed that in order to prove they weren't lying, they would reveal a never-before-seen hidden message in the game never found by any player before. Since Bioshock is one of my favorite games and I love getting any reason to play it, go ahead and boot it up and see if we can get this thing. According to the post, go to the second half of Hephaestus, where you first encounter Ryan in person. Use Incinerate to get you down to 1 health point. And then use it again in the area where the cutscene triggers and walk into it. You'll die right when the scene starts. But wind up in a Vita chamber outside the map. Turn on art captions and you'll see a developer message about Pell Hellquist not doing his job. No one has found this bug yet publicly, it's in all versions. Cheers. While it's clear the message itself is real, which is awesome, all the anonymous users' other claims were denied by former Irrational Games developers themselves. In fact, even Pell Hellquist himself said he was actually made aware of it about a year earlier on Twitter. Just like Allan, he knows that he's never going to live that one down. Half-Life 2. Being that Half-Life 2 is one of the most celebrated games of all time, by the way, where the hell is Half-Life 3? It also means that it's one of the most dissected and exploited games ever made. Players found if you were to boot up Half-Life 2 with any broken file paths in the data, you'd be met with some rather interesting placeholders, which can be especially jarring if you boot the game and somehow Alex's character model has gone missing.
Dr. Kleiner said you'd be coming this way. I don't think it occurred to him that you might not have a map. I'm Alex Vance. My father worked with you back in Black Mesa. I'm sure you don't remember me, though. Man, a few words, aren't you? Through here.
Jade Empire. Jade Empire is an RPG based on Chinese mythology from BioWare, the team behind Knights of the Old Republic and a little series known as Mass Effect. And as common in an RPG that has a gambling system largely based on luck, there's a common exploit that gamers tend to utilize in these games. The trick involves saving the game before gambling, and if you lose the bet, you simply shut down the game without saving and restart the bet again until you finally win, thus avoiding any potential gambling losses, allowing players to endlessly restart and only save progress every time the players won. Well, even though it's kind of a common exploit in a lot of games, BioWare hit a little surprise for any players looking to break their game with this trick.
You called it right. A high roll doubles your wager.
What the? Change your shirt. Oh, and your pants? Yeah, no kidding, me too, buddy. I don't even know how to be surprised anymore. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like this, please subscribe, and if you know of any other moments in video games that we weren't supposed to see, leave me a comment below or come join the Discord. We got a fantastic community over there of people researching Easter eggs, sharing amazing art, just generally the best community I've ever been a part of. Shout out to Pestilence Sleeper and Dr. Love for their contributions on Patreon, which I just updated, so check it out for some cool new offers. Stay tuned.